thanks for stopping by. Today I thought I would start on the second page in my new Johanna Basford's colouring book, the Wonderful Wildflowers. Excuse me, Clarence. But first, we need to clean up this mess that I created from creating this page. So it's as simple as a bit of water. I'm just using my squirty bottle, and I've got myself a little paper towel here. Magic of washable markers from Crayola. Don't you love that? I could probably put this through the dishwasher and still eat off of it. Alright, look at that. Isn't that pretty? We're done. Let's get on with colouring this page, the second page in Wonderful Wildflowers. Okay, sorry, excuse me. I've still got the colours that I picked for this page that I did, and I thought maybe I might use them on this page as well, and that'll keep these two pages cohesive. It doesn't matter if they're not. It's just something that I want to do. You can pick a completely new way of choosing your colours. If you look in my last video, which I'll card up, I think it comes up around here, it shows you how I go into Pinterest and pick my colours. So anyway, this one I'll be using obviously the greens, purple, pinks, oranges and yellows, so it'll look cute. But this one, instead of just using the colours as flat colours, I might do an awful lot of experimenting with mixing the colours. I'll put them on my plate first and see what we can create. Right, from my last video I mixed the purple and the darker of the greens together, and it came out with the most amazing gorgeous blue colour. I prefer muted colour tones, but of course I go and pick something as bright as this. With this first picture, it's mainly just leaves with a couple of little flowers and 3 little shrooms. So I thought with the leaves, let's do some of the blue on the leaves for the shadowing, and then I can go back over the top with the lighter colour. I know that's not how you do watercolour. That's how I'm going to do it today. So we'll grab some of this purple, and then some of this darker green that I use for the darker green, and mixing them together. Look at that colour. And from there we can adjust what kind of tone we want it. See, now it's just a dark blue purple, like a grey purple. But add a little bit more green, we go in back into the blue tones. It's quite neutral. See that? It's grey. Cool. Alright. Let's paint that. Let's just add a drop of water so I've got something to work with. And I'm just going to paint in, let's say we use the shadows. Again, I'm not being too precious about it. Alright, so that's everything in. We'll just do the little centre stems. That carries it all the way through. Cute. Alright, So for the next colour, I want it a little bit more of a dirty green. So let's grab some of this darker green, put that down, and literally just a tiny bit of this, because we just want it to go a little bit more on the browner side than it is on the fresh green side. Oh, look at that. Looks like it's got a blue underbase. That's pretty. Alright, let's pick our leaves for that. I might use these gorgeous big round ones. Alright, awesome. And then now I might add a little bit of highlight, so literally just a smidgy of the bright yellow, bring that in. We've lightened that up and we've now made a really nice muted light green, and I'm going to pop that in at the top where there might be some little highlight. Bring it through to that darker colour that we popped in first, just so it blends a bit better. Alright, cute. What do you guys reckon? Easy peasy, huh? Alright, for the next round of colour, let's grab the lighter green that we've got. And see how the purple changes that colour. Look at that pretty blue green. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Alright, with that green, I might use it, because I really like that green. I might use it on all these little ones. And I'm just going to literally dab it in there. Over the top of that grey shadowy colour that we put in first. And there goes my dog. He wants to go outside. That's such a nice green. Alright, back in a sec. Alright, the world is a happy place. Now he's outside having a wee. Okay, we've done that. We're super cute colour. Alright, let's add a touch of yellow to this green and just lighten it up again. There we go, cute. It's not even close to being the same colour as that again. And I'm just going to pop that on the ends. The cool thing about these Crayola Supertips is that even though it might have dried on the page, as soon as you add some kind of moisture, like, you know, a new colour or just some clean water, they sort of almost reactivate, a bit like gouache. So you can still blend edges out. I'll just drag it over the top of all of them, so it doesn't end up with a harsh line. cute. Alright, let's make another green for the last set of leaves. Oh bugger, look, I missed one. Okay, that's easy, I can make that a colour again. Anyway, let's get on with these funky three spooky, I don't know what they are, leaves. Other than leaves, I know that they're leaves. Right, instead of purples, let's use some pink. Look at that, yummy dark green colour. And pop that in like we did with all the others. Very painterly like, isn't it? And again, like the others, I'm just going to add some yellow to lighten it up. That's a yummy colour. Alright, cool. Look at that. Alright, cool. That other leaf is matching now, so I might just grab whatever colour. Let's just grab some colour and do these ones in the back here. Oh, there's some. And there's a vine. I'm really good at this. Let's add some more yellow. Just for their little highlights. And I might do this awesome blue. Still had yellow on my brush, that's why it came out a bit of a funky colour. And we'll do the vine. Oh, I think the postie might be here. Cute. Okay, I have this fascination with having these yellow little ball things. I don't know why I like these things yellow, but I do, so they're getting yellow. And I've just dropped colour. It looks orange. Alright, let's do a little bit brighter yellow with that, with a touch of orange. It's not quite orange and it's not quite yellow anymore. And let's do their centres. Nice. Now I want to make a nice shadowy colour because I'd really like to keep these petals here white. So what I'm going to do is fill my brush with water and not dry it off a bit so it comes out really liquid, which in turn then also makes it really pale. So I'm going to do just some tiny little shadows on these little white petals. Nothing extraordinary. I'm probably not even getting them in the right spot, but they're there just to give it some kind of form. So hopefully that helps. With that same grey colour, which I probably need to make up a new batch, but that's alright. I'm going to add a little bit of this orange yellow that we made. And I'm going to use that for the stalks of the shrooms. There we go. Check that out. Easy. Alright, now that the stalks are dry, I'm going to paint the caps of the mushrooms. Now I'm not going to obviously get red because that's a primary colour. But what I might do is start with just some basic yellow, add a bit more water so it's a bit more pale. I'm just going to tap on some cute little highlights. Get my pink and add some very watered down and we end up with a cute salmon colour. What I can do while that's still wet is just keep adding more colour and let it do its own thing. I really do want it to get to that line though. I love watercolours in the way that if you let it sit there in its own little bubble of water and let it spread and dry down naturally, you end up with the most unreal patterns, like the way that the water wants to float and spread out naturally. If I used a hairdryer, then it dries down itself quicker without really fully. It works best on obviously watercolour paper, but sometimes you get some really funky swirls and stuff like that happening in the water. So that's what I'm waiting for. I won't bore you to tears sitting here waiting for those droplets to dry, so I'll be back in a sec. Alright, it's nearly dry. I haven't touched it or anything, and that last one is still a little bit damp. They're probably all damp, but yeah, I haven't. That's just how it wanted to dry. It decided that that was a lot of water and it decided to leach out the colour, but I'm fine with it. I'm cool. I need to make a shadow colour, so I might try a little bit of pink and purple together. This purple, when wet on my plate, goes quite pink. See that? It's not purple. So I'm going to mix those two up, and to tone it down a bit, I'm going to add a little bit of green. And that'll create that into a cool toned purple. This will keep up with the warmth of the colour of the shrooms, and the blue in that colour just tones it down. Let's add a drop of water, and there we go. I've got my shadow colour. I'm just going to pop that in. I've let my bristles splay out and just dry a little bit. This one's still a bit wet, so it might just phase out. Drop a little bit of that colour onto the stalks of the mushroom. Mixing colours is literally just a balancing act of how much blue, yellow or red goes into something. That's all it is. Oh, I really like that. That's actually a really quite cute colour. Okay, before I finish up, I'm just going to do a little bit of a background like I did on this one here. I'll start off with some purple. It's quite watered down, so it's not like full-on bright strength. What am I trying to say? I can't think and paint and colour and everything at the same time. So if what I'm saying sounds weird and not thought out, it's because it is. Alright, I've dropped in that water. I'm just gonna increase the strength of the colour. Oh, look at that, just running out. That looks cool. I love watercolour painting. Might not be good at it, but you know, who cares? It's fun. Just a bit of fresh water and I'll let that come out a bit further. Just clean water on that. Oh, see how it reactivates? Now I've got yellow, which is going to turn into a gross neutral. Not what I was wanting at all. Oh well, the joys of colour, watercolour painting. Alright, let's do some pink. Let's drop that in here. I can put them into each other there so they sort of blend. I want to keep the pink and the purple away from that, so you can see that it's not going to blend into each other in the background. This is just clean water. Try and stay away from the yellow again so it blends out. Cute. Alright, some orange, which is going to be really strong, so I have to be a bit careful. Oranges can be such a overpowering colour. Again, we mix those two together so it creates a cute little blend. Clean water. Oops, let's dry that off a little bit. Might just darken that because it will be in at the very back behind everything else, so naturally it's going to be darker. And drop a little bit darker in there and it can blend out and do its own thing. And lucky last, cute orange, no, what's this, cute yellow. And we'll just go in this last little bit. Pink is not real bright, is it? That's okay. Alright, awesome. And we're done. There we go, all done. How easy peasy was that? So if you guys liked this video, can you please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you liked about it. It helps me create more videos that you guys actually want to see. And if you want to see more of these kind of videos, then please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and so you can keep up to date on all the new releases that I bring out, or anything else that might happen in this crazy world of my colouring. Alright, thanks for stopping by, and I shall catch you in the next videos. Have yourself a fabulous day. Bye!